if you're about to grab a break for yourself, to spend some time on what you want next year, instead of eating cheese and biscuits, playing Monopoly for the 100th time, or watching Home Alone, then this episode is for you. Hello, it's Emma Mills here, and welcome to episode 209 of MiTV, a very festive edition. I have a feeling that the MiTV Christmas specials are probably going to go down in history like we used to wait for the Vicar of Dibley, Only Fools and Horses. This will be the thing that we wait for every year. And so my episode is about next year, as the last few episodes have been the build up to your goal setting. I have promised myself that over the Christmas period, so I'm off for 2 weeks, finished week before Christmas, that I am going to spend a minimum of 30 minutes every day of just quiet time of me with either my iPhone notes or my notebook to think about what I really want next year, like what I really want. I feel like if you just stop now, if you just pause MiTV and think about what you want, you already know, you might just come up with things that feel like they are the things to want, if you know what I mean. Like, oh, I want to double my business, or I want to earn this amount of money, or often we just come up with things that I feel like are expected to want. And it's ironic if people don't spend time to think about what they want next year, because how would you not give dedicated time where you might have watched a Netflix episode to actually plan how you want your life to be? And I'm going to take time to look at this year, like what's gone well, what hasn't gone well, and what I want to be different. So I set 5 goals at the beginning of last year, and I'll say now that some of them, I think I set them because it felt like it's something I should be doing. I'm just going to whip through them, and I just want this to be a personal example from me of how not every goal stays relevant, and how as you learn and the things in your life change, and that your goals will need to as well. So my screensaver, it's great to have it front of mind and to have you thinking about, have you achieved it? Are you on the path to achieve it? Or actually, does it need to be replaced with something else? So my goal number 1 was write the book. If you're a long-term MiTV watcher, you will know that I have talked about this book a lot, and I can fully get immersed in visualizing about the book. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to have the best book launch. It's going to look great. I can't wait to send it out to people, and I want it to help them. I can fully get on board with it, and I'm excited when it happens. But it wasn't the right time for me to spend time on doing that this year. The growth of the business in terms of people, customers, systems, processes, that needed attention from me for us to scale and get to the next level. Putting time on the book wasn't the right thing for my PA this year. And I know the book's going to be an amazing thing for the business, but I learned throughout the year that actually 2022 even is not the year to do that. So the book's going to move across, but it's going to move into a list of things of, okay, a thing to plan in. It's not necessarily going to stay on my main goals to achieve for next year. My second one was a personal goal about losing some weight. I didn't do anything about that until September. And that's also for reasons of that, we don't have crystal balls, and we don't know the problems that are going to be thrown up, things we need to solve. And so it was only in September time that I really got the clarity on, okay, I'm going to get myself a fitness coach. I joined something called Lifestyle Lean. Jess is fantastic. I've lost 4 kilos in 3 months, but I only started that in September, and I added it to my list in January. And my plan for that is very simple. It's steps, it's calories, it's work, like so many workouts. It's not like overly taxing, but the small things every day. I've lost some weight. So I've not hit the number I put on there, which was to get to 71 kilograms, but I'm half the way there. So goal number 1, I realized actually wasn't the right thing to put for this year. Goal number 2, I only started working on towards the end of the year. The third one was a financial goal, which actually I've put so much of my time and resource into my PA. This personal financial goal was something that I realized of like, okay, it's going to happen, but again, it's not for 2022. And my 2 final goals that are on here, one is about a turnover mark that I wanted to pass, which we did in summer. And the other one was about hitting the monthly goals of our 12-month plan. So we hit the turnover, but we didn't hit the monthly goals. So actually, out of my 5 on here, I can categorically say I've done one of them really well. And it got me thinking I was having this Debbie Downer day. I was like, okay, I've not done all of these things on here, but I guess lots of people had this experience in COVID, but one thing that I'm very aware of now is that I want to simplify things as much as possible. Like there are so many constraints on my time, in all areas of life, that I want things to be as simple as possible. So my number one for goals for next year, I'm going to have just 2 goals. One's going to be business related, one's going to be personal. I know the business one now, and it's not related to turnover per se. I know that will come as a part of it, but my business one is literally going to be about making some changes to the business which makes it more scalable and operates without me. And by that, it's going to be a less stressful, more joyous place to work, because it's going to be simpler. I want to bring simplification to my PA, because we do lots of things and help lots of people in different ways, and we want to simplify that down and make it more powerful than ever. So my business goal is related to simplifying some of the stuff inside we do my PA, and my personal goal is basically related to enjoying the free time that I have and making sure that I enjoy it. Now that's quite a big goal, and underneath it there's going to be things that I need to implement, like making sure I get my 3 tasks done every day at work so I can shut my laptop and not think about stuff. It's like booking out time to have with my family, with boyfriend, with friends, like enjoying personal time and not letting stress or worry overcome it. So these are my 2 main goals, and my tip for goal planning for over Christmas now is to keep it simple, and is to not do things that you think are expected of you, like okay, well, my goals are I must earn this next year, or my goals are I must double my business. Maybe the goal is you just love to free up the time to go and practice your golf swing next year and do 2 hours on it every week. Or maybe you actually want to try and get a hobby next year, so it's not just all work. Maybe it is a financial goal and it's just the one thing that you work on. My screensaver next year is just going to have 2 very, very simple things on it. So that's my number 1 for goal planning over Christmas. Think about what you want, but just keep it really simple. And if you achieve those 2 things, great. We can then, a couple of months in, you can change them. But that is number 1. Keep it simple. My second tip for goal planning now is that goals change. So I very much realized that my life became a list of to-dos that just got ticked off, but you don't want a list of to-dos that just get ticked off. Like, you want to experience the juice of life, not just like done it, shut my laptop, go home. Like, you want to experience the journey, where you're going, like the excitement of the things that you can possibly create. So I very much learned that goals change, and 2022 has been a year more than ever to know that what you think might happen in January can be very different to what's happened in December. So goals change, so there is nothing wrong in resetting your vision. And for that, my second big tip is don't just do this goal setting now. Every single week, I challenge you next year to slot in a time to revisit your goals, whether it's 5 minutes one week and half an hour another week. It's the only way you're really going to check back in on where you're at. The reason why I have now finally lost 4 kilos since September is that because every Thursday I have to check in with Jess on have I stayed in calorie, have I done my steps, did I do my 4 workouts, and weigh myself and take my measurements. And it's exactly the same thing with the goals that you're going to plan for yourself now. Every week, I would pick a time, whether it's a Saturday when you maybe go to a coffee shop and get a little bit of time to yourself, or maybe it's in the week when you get into work half an hour later. Whatever you think about now and visualize and dream about and want to do, set in some kind of recurring reminder. And even if you don't keep the appointment and actually spend half an hour, it comes up on your calendar to go, okay, these are my goals. Where am I at? Have I done anything last week to achieve them? Am I on course at all? Do I need to spend some time looking at why I'm not there? Like, the only reason I've lost weight is because every single week I'm accountable. I have to check in to say, yep, I did the 4 things that I know are going to make it happen. So it will be fantastic if you can find time now at Christmas to think about what you want. But going forwards, every week in 2023, have some kind of reminder that comes back around of, this is what I wanted. Where am I at? What am I doing about it? And my third point is that not every single goal stays relevant, and that is absolutely fine. It's your life that you're creating. It's your journey. Like for me, the book is not right now, but it will be at some point. That is fine. You need to stay excited with what you're doing, with what you're trying to achieve. So having that check-in with yourself every single week to understand if what you've picked is the right thing, because we all learn. You might not pick the right thing at Christmas, but in January or February, you might realize like, oh, actually, my goal should be this and I can see the way to achieve it. So in any time that you get to yourself this Christmas for planning, keep your goals simple. I'd say 1 or 2 tops, like really, really focusing on them. Keep the check-in times every week to see where you're at with them, and keep them relevant. If they're no longer relevant, that is fine. Nobody's going to tell you off for changing goals halfway through. Let's keep goal setting for 2023 exciting and fun and something you want to do and relevant for next year. I hope this Christmassy episode helps you get your head out of the Christmas pudding and into the clouds. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.